Tuesday, November the 11th, 2018, and I'm down on the Dorset Coast in Dorset, staying here at HF West Lulworth house. Very nice environment it is too. Lovely day today for early November. Bit blowy, but dry at the moment. Just about to undertake a 10-mile approximately walk called the White Nothe, N-O-T-H-E, if I'm pronouncing that correctly. But prior to doing that, I'm just going to take a quick circuit and show you Lulworth Cove, well-known Lulworth Cove. Very pleasant little village this, with lots of local thatch. Consequently, last night, fireworks night. Clearly no fireworks in this village for fear of setting fire to these places. There aren't any street lights either because it's in one of the light-free zones. So this is the backdrop to Lulworth Cove. Chalk that's been eroded over many years. Some fantastic geology here, as you'd imagine. Look at those folds in the rock over there. Perfect little cove this is. So there you have it. The coast path used to go up these cliffs here, apparently. As you can see now, it's boarded off and there's a diversion in place because time and tide wait for no one, and the tide's continuing to erode these cliffs. This information panel tells us something about the geology. Don't know if you can read that. Anyway, plenty on Google. As I say, a bit breezy today, so could well be some interference. One of the original coast path footpath markers there. Memorial stone here to commemorate 185 million years of the Earth's history. And a view back of the hotel and its surrounding environment, westward vista, then coming back over the village with its high hills, chalk back, and the cove with its oyster beds. Wonderful. I'm now stood at Stair Hole looking towards Portland Bill, the Isle of Portland, which is linked to the mainland by a spit, I do believe. All those geography lessons are coming back now. Look at that, the folds in that rock. Vertical. Normally you only see them horizontally, but here you get them vertically. Fantastic. This little island here, apparently, because it's difficult to get onto, is inhabited by adders, and I've yet to see one. anywhere in my walking history, as I mentioned from time to time. So at the appropriate time of year, perhaps I should be on that little island or on that rock. Parting view of the cove as the sun shines on it. Fantastic. If I remember correctly, the official route of the Hardy Way, which seems to encompass most of the county, goes along the back of the shoreline there. Information panel here about Stair Hole, mentioning the adders on that little islet, that little headland there. Great example of folding there. And the old arches. Wonderful blue colour sea today. Incredibly mild for November, thankfully. Wouldn't want to be stood here on a cold March day. Walking up into West Lulworth, and those cattle are not very good barometers of the weather. They're all lying down, which defies what's actually going on. You can see the ranges are mentioned there, and unfortunately for most of the year, in the week anyway, you can't walk eastwards from here because of the firing going on. So it's only weekends and holidays, when it's obviously crowded, that you can do so. Shame really. Most of my walks this week are going to be confined to the west of West Lulworth. You can see a number of footpaths mentioned here, including the coast path diversion and the Hardy Way, which I hope to walk on Friday back to Wall Station. The village church there in West Lulworth. You can hear the firing going on behind me. Walking past the newly, or relatively new, thatch of Castle Inn. Okay, just opposite Farm Lane, you come to this stone finger post. Windthrift 3 miles, Dulwish Farm 1.5. So this is our onward journey now. Get away from the guns, which are pretty incessant, I must admit. Now following West Lulworth Country Trail. Views back towards West Lulworth. Got brief respite in the shooting. Quite still up here as well, not too windy as I was expecting. Must be coastal, the winds. That's the squaddies' houses over there, the base. And that sounds like a tank. Good grief. Kind of poignant as we approach 11:11. God rest their souls. Now at the path junction, indicated by the yellow footpath marker there that we saw earlier. Turning left here towards the radio mast. Footpath marker needs a clean. I'm just stood near the radio mast, so a reasonable height here, and the views back towards the army base and along the coastline are fantastic. haven't got great visibility today, but it could be worse. Wind's picking up again because I'm now on the ridge line. Views back towards the hotel in Lulworth, West Lulworth. Very fortunate with the weather today. Tomorrow though, forecast to be completely different, kettle of fish. Hence the longer walk today. Longest one they do at this discovery point, which is where the maps are held for self-guided walkers like myself. There is said radio mast. Wonder if there's a height marked on the map. Indeed there is, 167 metres. So coming on 500 foot. You can see over there. Shame it's not lunchtime, but long way off yet. Continuing onwards towards Dagger's Gate, apparently. Weather doesn't look too good inland. It's like it's raining. Look at this. If these pylons weren't here, could almost be back in Hardy's Wessex. Missive route for horses there. One in the background as well. That's a big old crow, if it is a crow. I haven't heard it, so can't define if it's a raven perhaps. Wouldn't have thought so, not this far down. Big bird though. Yeah, I just heard it calling. Certainly sounds like a raven. Brightening up now as we approach, yeah, what is the time? Midday. There's yet another example of people not thinking when they buy these balloons. God knows who they think is going to clean up after them when they release them into the air. Seems to be happening too often now. Funerals as well. Absolutely madness. They should be banned, just like plastics. Interesting name. Looking back towards said name place. Further views back as the wind picks up. On my right there, the southwest coast path, which is our journey back. Wind being on my back then. There's an obelisk over there, around about 175 metres above sea level. But I've got no information as to why it's there, and there's no information in front of me on the ground either. Interesting, that one. Victorian folly perhaps? War memorial? No idea. Interesting bit of local art there, reflecting the geology of the area. Strange how it's there though. Middle of nowhere. See another obelisk down there on the southwest coast path. There's clearly a reason why they're about. Might see that one on the way back. through the metal gate on my left here, and there's an information board here about Chaldon Down, talking about the downland landscape. So if you want to Google that, Chaldon Down. Looking like it's raining there in the distance. Don't think it'll be long before it's with us either. Need to get my skates on, nearly halfway round anyway. Not sure what he's depositing in the bushes there, but certainly seems to make the plants and trees grow. Some kind of water that can't be put elsewhere. Weymouth over there in the gloom now, really. And yet on my right, look at the sunshine over there. Beautiful old thatched barn there. Probably around in Hardy's day. 100 eyes there, all on me. They are funny sheep. Now entering the National Trust's Ringstead Bay. Far from the madding crowd, eh? So even in Hardy's time, escapism was à la mode. On the pole referred to in the text. So the farm behind me, Sea Bar Farm, got its own mail collection, which is due today, funny enough, Tuesday. Splendid views here over Ringstead Bay. Fantastic. You can tell it's a trust property. Weymouth off in the distance. Sun's out over there. Can't remember where Chesil Beach is, or Chesil Bank, the infamous spit. Portland again. Wood journey here is the one towards White Nothe, which I now establish is probably local dialect for nose. So not down that lane towards the church, but this way. Now interestingly, as there is a church there, I wonder if it's a possible lunchtime stop. Depends how far down it is. Might have a gander. Here is said church, St Katherine-by-the-Sea, Lulworth. Sun's in my eyes, so I need to go the other side. Amazing little church. Well worth the diversion. Never seen anything like it. Absolutely wonderful. It's not much more than a wooden barn. Not only that, there's a plethora of seats with a fantastic vista. Look at that. What a lovely lunchtime spot I've picked here. Well pleased I made the diversion. Fantastic collection of seats. Right, 1 o'clock, 6 mile in, lunch is served. I've got a nice mushroom soup provided today and sandwiches. So it might be a bit of a struggle walking afterwards. I've picked this one here, in memory of Jim Carrington, 57 years old. No age at all. God rest your soul. Wonderful little place. Just talking to a lady outside who's a local, and her mother's buried in a churchyard there. Special dispensation. Apparently this place holds 40 people and is regularly full. And at Easter, when 150 descend on the place, they have to have it outside. They put the cross outside on a mound and pray to God it doesn't rain. Lovely. From the other side, the organ over there on the right. Brilliant. I've been in some churches over my time, but this is one of the best. Fantastic. Well, that was a wonderful little lunchtime break. Highly recommend holding out for your lunch at that point. 6 miles in. If you get the weather I'm having today, then lovely. But as you can see, rain's not far off. We've got about 2 hours and probably that much walking time left as well. So I need to get my skates on as we here back at Weymouth, Portland. And I now have the undulations of the South Downs, sorry, not the South Downs, the Southwest Coast path, which is here, not dissimilar to the South Downs, with its undulations of Seven Sisters. Wonderful view down onto Ringstead Bay. Wind full on now. Just leaving the White Nothe estate, or White Nose. And then behind me, in the middle of nowhere, you get this row of cottages with solar panels. Interesting to know what they're all about. Ex-Coast Guard, military, judging by this wall. There's my answer. Former Coast Guard cottages. I did wonder, because it looks like there's a relic of World War II over there. I might be wrong, it might be something to do with the Coast Guard, but it looks military to me. I haven't seen many installations down this way, bearing in mind Plymouth isn't that far distant. Access these cottages, what utilities they've got. I noticed some gas canisters up the side of one wall. Decent holiday home, but not much else, I wouldn't have thought. So there you go, the similarities with the white cliffs of the Seven Sisters. A bit blowier here though. Earlier we do pass the other obelisk. I wonder if this one's got an inscription on it. The answer is no. So it's another job for Google. Looking back from whence I've just come. Grassy downland. West Coast path is on the lower route down below. I'm following one at a slightly elevated route, which is less undulating like the Seven Sisters. If you look down there carefully, you can see the erosion that thousands of pairs of legs have caused over the years. It's a problem with the popularity of walking now. remained under a cloud pretty much the whole walk. Wonderful geology here, or geography even. Reminds me a little bit of Old Nick's Cup up on the Pennines. Can't remember what its proper name is. But with the sea as a backdrop. You can see why this place is called Scratchy Bottom. Wonderfully barren and quiet and peaceful here. Parasol mushrooms amongst this old gorse. Back from whence I've come. Just coming up to Durdle Door soon. There is Durdle Door, beyond it, Lulworth. Pretty steep decline in a minute. Lovely red coloured sand here down near Durdle Door. Steep the descent was. I think that's pretty much tougher than anything Seven Sisters has got to offer. So there she is, the one that it is Durdle Door. Power of Mother Nature, power of the waves. That's what I say, we need to harness it and produce energy. Little cove forming the other side of Durdle Door, and I noticed that the stairway over there is no longer. Must have been the storms last year. Starting to spit. I'm about 15 minutes from safety. Let's get cracking. West Lulworth, here we come with the cove in the background. This final descent could be incredibly slippy underfoot after rain because it's cobbled. Perhaps not a clever idea. I know it's hard wearing, but yeah, I wonder. We are back in West Lulworth, 4 hours, 11 minutes and 10.1 miles later. Very nice walk that. I think the highlight was probably that little church and lunch, but nevertheless, lovely walk. Instructions were good, all worked out well, and amazingly, it's only just starting to rain. So someone was looking after me after I said my prayers in that church. Wonderful.